When I was 17, as everyone else, I wanted to make money. I wanted to find any method that there possibly was to make as much money as I possibly could, typically in a form of online business. I got hooked by the people online talking about the business models and the different methods and techniques you could use to make money, and I thought, amazing, I'm just gonna do what they're doing and make as much money as I possibly can. And that's what I did. I got hooked on this method called affiliate marketing, and affiliate marketing is basically an idea of where you promote someone else's product for a commission, and then you get paid off the back of that. So you're basically making money without having your own product. Sounds really good, right? And that's what I did. Because I was kind of almost brainwashed into the idea that you have to just find something that already exists and see if you can do that as well as everybody else. Very shortly, I realized that, hold up, it doesn't work like that. I can't just jump on a business model and try and pretend that I'm really good at doing what I have no idea how to do and deliver for people and run services and stuff like that. And it took me about 2 and a bit years to realize that if I want to make money online, if anyone wants to make money online, you've got to look back to your skill set. You've got to look at the skills that you have, the innate foundations that you have that you can build on top of, because everything, any making money online, technique, method, whatever it may be, it's a result of a combination of skills that are put together in a certain way to help produce a result for someone. And in this video, I'm going to use my trusty whiteboard here, and I'm going to explain to you the exact process of how you can turn one singular skill into a business. And I'm going to do it in a way where it's super digestible. You can actually understand it, you can comprehend it. It's not like join my business model program because it's going to make you a lot of money. No, I'm going to actually break down for you exactly how to take one skill, something you're actually good at, understand if you can actually sell it, and then turn it into a business. So let me draw out my little triangle over here that I'll show you. And this will make a lot more sense because I know at the moment it's like, what the hell is this guy talking about? So let me break it down for you. So this is the triangle that is going to help you understand absolutely everything. And this triangle is split up into 4 different categories. And this is almost like the hierarchy, the natural progression of turning your skill into a business. Because at the top, as I've just said, you have skill. Then here you have service, then you have business, and then you have empire, right? And this is a natural progression, as I say. This is the triangle that you have to go through if you want to turn a singular skill into an empire, or an empire, aka a very successful, well-running, self-sufficient business. And it looks something like this. This is the natural path that you have to go down, okay? Well, let's just say the natural milestones that you kind of have to hit along the way. And I'm going to explain to you how you can go from one milestone to the other, to the other, to the other, and how it actually works. I'm not going to be talking in like heavy specifics where it's like, right, and here's how to do it in excruciating detail, because we will be here for hours and hours and hours. But if you want me to like dive into a specific topic a bit more, I 100% can. But just for now, I'm going to explain the actual theory of going from a skill into a service into a business into an empire, aka a skill, something you're just genuinely good at. Let's say making coffee, right? Into a service, aka selling the coffee, making money in result for selling someone the coffee and making it, into a business, aka, I don't know, starting up a cafe. Sorry, I'm making a mess here. And then into an empire, aka, I don't know, creating a franchise of cafes where you're actually making a bucket load of money and you could detach yourself from the initial premise of you selling your skill and turning it into a business. So that's what we're going to go through today. And I'm going to break it all down for you as clear as I possibly can. Now, the first thing you need to understand is obviously this part. This is where everyone starts, with a skill. And if you don't have a skill, or you're trying to identify your skill, you haven't yet found it, there's a few boxes you have to tick to actually make sure that you can go from step 1 to step 2. And it is actually the nature of the skill. And there's a few things that you have to make sure it actually ticks off. Number 1 is that the skill is transferable, as you can see just going off the screen here, okay? That's number 1, because if the skill isn't transferable, aka you can't actually pass it to another person, then it doesn't matter. Like, again, the skill of knowing what flag correlates to what country is not a transferable skill in which you can turn into a service. It doesn't mean anything. So I'm not going to sit here and try and sugarcoat everything and say, even if you have the skill of biting your nails, that's a really good skill. No, it has to be transferable. Someone else will have to want it. It has to be valuable in the eyes of somebody else, and that is actually what marks the second part, which is making sure the skill is valuable. Because if the skill ticks these 2 boxes, aka it's transferable and it's valuable, and it's only really going to be transferable if it is valuable, then it's a skill worth having. It's a skill worth choosing and a skill that you can actually turn into a service, and furthermore into a business, furthermore into an empire, okay? So those are the two factors that you need to actually make sure that your skill is valuable enough to actually sell it to someone, to turn it into a service. So what is the process of actually turning it into a service? Well, to go from here to here, there are a few things that you need to do and need to make sure that you do successfully, because a skill, again, it doesn't mean anything. Once it's transferable and it's valuable, fantastic. It actually means something. It holds some kind of tangible value that other people will pay you money for. Now it's about how do we actually get it to the part or the frame of where it's a service and people will actually pay us money for it. This is the idea of taking the skill of social media, which doesn't really mean much innately, and actually turning it in a way and morphing it and manipulating it so actually people pay money for the skill of social media. So what do we do? Well, the first thing you need to identify to actually turn a skill into a service is a problem and a solution. Because your skill is only valuable if it can solve a problem and it is the solution to that problem. Does that make sense? So it's like the idea of, let's just say, coffee, for example, right? Your skill is making coffee. You're a fantastic barista. That's amazing, okay? It's valuable, right? You can make something. It's transferable. You can make coffee for people. Cool. Can you turn it into a service? Yes, because the problem that your skill solves is that people are tired, for example, right? The solution is that your coffee wakes them up in the morning. Boom. Now you have a skill that actually can be turned into a service, and then people will actually pay money for. That is step one. There's a problem that you can identify and a solution that you can actually provide with your skill, then your skill can be turned into a service, which is pretty exciting stuff. And this again goes with absolutely anything. Let's say as another example that your skill is graphic design. You're a very good graphic design artist, you like creating things on Photoshop, whatever it may be. That's great, but it doesn't really mean much. Firstly, is your skill valuable? Yes, because it creates something of value. Is it transferable? Well, yeah, because other people may need something created and therefore you can do it for them. Is there a problem that it solves? Innately, no. Graphic design doesn't really solve a problem, but you can make it solve a problem. Let's say, for example, you're not just creating graphics, but you're actually helping companies create ad creatives, right? Like posters and stuff to run as ads. That way, there's a problem. The company doesn't have a good ad creative. The solution, or aren't making much money through ads. The solution is the high converting graphic that you can create for them. That way, the skill, which is graphic design, can be turned into a service because you've identified a problem, you can solve the problem, and it's transferable and it's valuable. Okay, that's the kind of process that you can go through with any skill. I'm trying to look around me and kind of identify more skills, but it could be absolutely anything, okay? And the final thing to turn your skill into a service is actually a process of delivery. Okay, and that is essentially what it says on the tin. It's the process of how you actually deliver your skill to someone in exchange for money. Okay, so again, going back to the barista idea, the skill is being able to make coffee. It's transferable and it's valuable. The problem it solves is people being tired. The solution it actually creates or helps you achieve is waking people up. What's the process of delivery? Oh wait, it's actually making the coffee for someone and selling it to them in return. You know, you don't have to think big cafe or this. Think like a small stall down the road, a little pop-up shop where it's like, cool, I've got a coffee machine here. There's people walking past that are tired. Boom, there's a solution to a problem I've identified. How can I actually deliver the solution? I have a little pop-up shop, people come to me, want a coffee, I make it for them, they jog on their way. That is basically step one of turning your skill into a service. So let's talk about turning your service into a business. How do you take a random service that may be, you know, the pop-up shop down the road that sells coffee and actually turn it into a business? Now, the process of actually turning a service into a business, and AKA a service, is obviously transferring your skill in return for money, okay? We all get that. The process of actually turning it into a business is something that is scalable, okay? Where you can actually make more money for the time that you put in, and you can just start to detach yourself from it, and you can start to like expand and make more money and scale. That's the process of turning it into a business, because anyone can run a service. That's more of like a little side hustle thing, right? That's going to make you a bit of money on the pocket, a bit of pocket money on the weekends. Turning it into a business is where the real money comes into play. That's where you start putting the systems into play, which I'll talk about now. So how do we turn a service into a business? Let's talk about it. The two main things that you have to look at when you actually turn a service into a business is number one, market, which is basically who actually do you want to help and why do you want to help them? Because when you're turning a skill into a service, you can serve anyone and everyone. You'll say, anyone who wants my coffee, come and get it, right? I guess the coffee shop isn't really the best idea because people come to you, but let's say again, your skill is graphic design. You can help anyone and everyone. To turn a service into a business, you need to get very clear on the market. Exactly who do you want to help and why do you want to help them? This is where you get hyper specific on how you can help people, what you can do for them, okay? So it's not just a general like, oh, I can create cool designs for you, but it's actually, I will help these people solve this problem in this specific manner. That right there, that's money, because people will pay to have their problems solved. It's kind of like going into a doctor's, right? You go into the doctor's and you're like, doctor, I've got a problem. And the doctor whips out a pill and he goes, no worries, because this pill will solve any problem you have. And you're like, really? But when you go into the doctors and the doctor says, cool, well, I have this pill that solves your specific problem. It covers your specific needs. It helps you specifically. You're thinking, cool, that pill's for me. It works for me. It's calling my name. That's market, when you call people out specifically because you want to help people specifically. And I get that the common mindset of a lot of people is like, oh, but maybe the more niche down I go, I'm helping less people. No, you're just calling out people more specifically and people will feel more entitled to want to work with you and do business with you because you are helping their needs. You're fulfilling their needs. That's why niches are a thing. That's why there's probably coffee brands out there that target elderly people specifically. You're thinking, why the hell don't you just target everybody? But it's not about that. It's about who they call out. If I'm sure actually, I want to search it up, see if there is. Coffee brands for elderly people. It's going to be interesting. Okay, I've just seen that it isn't exactly healthy for old people to drink coffee, but my example is if I search up healthy coffee, there's coffee brands for hikers and people that are traveling. There's coffee brands for swimmers. There's coffee brands of different types of people. That's the idea. Coffee serves everybody. So why do they get specific with a market? Because they call people out and people will come to you when you call them out, okay? That's why market is number one to turn it from a service to a business. The second thing you've got to be kind of take note of is systems. Because systems is crucially important to turn your service into a business, because no longer is it a little side hustle, but it's actually a company, it's a business. And again, it's a pretty liberating feeling when you go from this point to this point. And systems are things to basically keep the money churning in. You know, if you sell your service of graphic design to a company down the road, you say, hey, I can help you create a really nice poster for your company. So more people are gonna come in the shop when they walk past and see outside. Amazing. That's one company. You've essentially turned your skill into a service. To turn it into a business, you need a lot of clients. You need a lot of companies that you want to work with, right? And to be able to do that, you need systems in place that can help you get multiple clients. So depending on what your service is, this will completely vary, but systems can be email automation systems, it can be outreach systems, it can be marketing systems, it can be ads, it can be anything. Like, it's systems to help you get more money, more kind of people in the door so you can sell to more people, and that's how you actually turn it into a business. Essentially, from a service to a business is far more customers, far more clients, or far more higher paying clients, okay? In order to do that, you need systems in place. I will make a further video about systems, like the best systems I've found to grow your business, but they're so dependent on like you as a person, or kind of like what your company is and who you're trying to help and all this kind of stuff, but that's the idea. It's automation systems. It's systems that is going to allow you to kind of detach yourself from it and scale above and beyond. And those are the main two things you need to do to go from a service to a business. Now we're talking from a business to an empire. Okay, now from a business to an empire, there are two main things that you need to do. Number one is team. This is where you start to find people that can help you basically leverage your own time and your own kind of knowledge and experience. This is where you start to find people where you can pass on your work, you can delegate to them, and they can do it better than you. Because if you're a graphic designer and you're at the point where you've turned your service into a business, now you have multiple clients. And it's not like you're running a business now, but you've given yourself a high paying job. So if you want to be able to detach yourself from it, where you actually run a business that you're proud of, you can make a lot of money and you can live the life that you want to live, you need to look at team. Who can you hire to help you delegate the work that you don't want to do, or that other people can do better than you, so you can scale above and beyond? That is the crucial component. A lot of people want to do all this business stuff solo, where they're like, man, I want to be the solopreneur and stuff like that. It works, don't get me wrong, but you will hit a bottleneck. And you got to remember that you're building a business so you can live the life that you want to live, correct? That's why you're here. So if you want to do that, you've got to look at team. There are people out there that are so much better than you at doing what they do best, that you've got to kind of let that ego fall down and give it to them. And the second thing is detachment, which kind of falls into team a little bit, but it's the idea where you can start to buy your time back. If you really want to turn from a business into an empire, then you've got to start to buy your time. If you're the person that makes the coffee, right, Your skill is coffee making, being a barista. You turned it into a service, a little stall. You've turned it into a business. You've bought an actual shop, right? You have systems in place. You have coffee machines. You have SOPs. You have point of sale systems, right? You have things in place that help the business run and churn smoothly. You know the market that you're targeting. You're working with people specifically, and you want to go from a business to an empire. Firstly, you hire teams. Right, you hire a teammate, you hire other baristas, you hire waiters, whatever it is, and then you want to detach yourself from it, because building an empire specifically, if you are completely attached to it, it's not an empire, it's actually a high-paying job. And in some cases, it's not even high-paying. Some cases, it's literally just a job. And no one wants that. That's not why you're here, which means you've got to detach yourself from it, to turn it from a business into an empire, and continue to find systems that will help you scale. That's the main bit, okay? Find systems and detach yourself from it, and you can turn a business into an empire very, very quickly, which is awesome. Anyways, ladies and gents, this is the triangle that you need to follow if you want to actually start to make money online. And I'm not talking about some shanty business model, some jump on this trend, it's so cool, or start trading. You know, it's really predictable. You're gonna make a lot of money. No, if you actually want to build a long-lasting business, something you're proud of and you can detach yourself from, you start with a skill. You turn that skill into a service, turn that service into a business, that business into an empire, and follow these steps to do so. I have a video that I'm going to leave linked at the end of this video. You'll see it pop up on screen, where I explain how to go from nothing to $100,000 a month and the different milestones that you need to go through. It's a full training, 40 minutes long, but it's going to be a massive expansion on this and really help you understand and comprehend how you can turn a singular skill into an entire empire, because that's my mission. That's what I'm here to teach you. That's what I'm here to help you with. How to take what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and turn it into something that you can be proud of. This is the stepping stone. Skill, service, business, empire. These are what you need to do. A very small snippet of it, but something to understand. All right? Cool. See you guys in the next one.